So everybody talks about the bitcoins, the ether, and the price appreciation. So what are your views on this, and what can we expect from blockchain as an asset class?
Let me start on the technical side. I think the technical dimension is that blockchain is, as I mentioned before, a number of technology concepts which I think will allow to increase the operational efficiency of the companies within a group or with their partners. I think that, I'm convinced, is not going to go away. The other concept is the token concept. That's the Bitcoin and Ethereum, where you basically put a value on this token, this technical token. I think that will also not go away. And I think there we will see what's going to happen if Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to become like a utility to exchange services versus value.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could also be that the governments will start issuing their own fiat currency on tokens. And so I'm very convinced that the blockchain technology and the token concept will stay with us for a long time and will facilitate the exchange of goods or rights across the internet and also within industry with the partners. So I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are also very different. Bitcoin is more of a community currency or asset, and it will probably stay like that because it's also limited, right? With this 21 million, so I think it's going to be more of an asset. Ether could become more of a usage, a transaction fee currency, because Ether itself, Ethereum, is building solutions for the industry. So it's working very closely with the biggest industry to facilitate the exchange, public exchange, but also to make it secure. So Ethereum has a long way to go to develop that, but it's more of a solution. It's a company, you invest in a company which provides.
So we, as a strategic advisor on wealth management, we have many clients now. They bought certain tranches of Bitcoin. Given the hype, there is a certain feeling one is missing out if not has bought some of these digital assets. And so far, those crypto assets have contributed very nicely to an overall portfolio. So we have seen that if you just do an allocation of 2% in a stable portfolio in terms of asset allocation, it contributed an additional 0.4% performance and have increased the Sharpe ratio, which is an expression of return versus risk. The second point is really about the smart contracts, as you said, on the token side. That doesn't need to relate to the currencies, right? You can do a smart contract with a fiat currency and you can have the choices. So we have now clients selling products through the internet and launching certain products that you can buy also through smart contracts, and you can pay with the cryptocurrency, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And last but not least, the whole financing question is another one. The ICOs is about 1,850 something companies out there with all sorts of currencies, tokens, what have you. And the funding mechanism is a very interesting one. So you are working on a project that also ensures that the ICO is more regulated, and certain bad experience that have happened over the last 6-9 months are not going to be repeated.
Yes.
So can you elaborate on this?
Yeah, so crowdfunding, for me, ICOs are crowdfunding, right? And I think has enabled a lot of startups to get cash and get finance to start and develop their ideas. So I think, again, principally, I don't think this is going to go away. What's happening, as you said, there has been issues. People have just misused the ICO concept, and obviously, rightly so, the regulators are now looking at it. they want to protect the investor, right? Because it's obviously technology, not everybody is technology savvy. And it's obviously there's nobody who rates these ICOs in a proper way yet. So basically, I think this will continue, but now I think we are coming into a phase where regulators will start imposing rules and regulations, KYC, AML. They will also probably expect to see themselves the concepts of these ICOs. What is the value of this? What is the purpose of this token? Is it the security? Is it exchange of value? Is it a usage token? There can be different usages of this token, right? So now I think a couple of companies, especially on the legal side, they are now working with the regulators to propose them how to categorize these different types of tokens. And with that, you can then associate a risk that you have, which you can then communicate to the investor. So he knows if this token has a high risk or has a lower risk, right? And he can then choose or make a more intelligent choice of where he invests. So I think that is going on, and as you said, I'm working on a project which, the purpose is to use today's, stock or stock rules, regulations, in terms of incorporation, in terms of capital increase, in terms of trading, to map this in a way that it can be replicated on a token and smart contract system. So that way you take the old world and you digitalize it with blockchain and smart contract, and with that you make it easier, you make it cheaper, and you make it more accessible, but still being fully compliant with the rules. That's one thing. So there's obviously other concepts. I'm working on another ICO where a small couple of guys are building a payment system linked into a video system. So if you want to do advisory or video, it can be anything, right? You could basically take that plugin, and this engine will basically do all the accounting and the billing for your service straight away, immediately, online, and you will get the money immediately, so you don't need to have other banking or financial services doing that for you, which obviously going to pick up a couple of % of fees. So that's going to be another project. So there's many of them coming, and I think just the crowdfunding methods or this approach will develop to become more mature, more regulated, more transparent, and therefore more there will be more quality in it.